Hi, everyone. I'm Jess, and I'm the content manager here at Course Report. Course Report is the resource for helping people find the right coding bootcamp for them. You can use the Course Report website to research and use GetMatch to find the best coding bootcamps all over the world, as well as insights on how to fund your coding bootcamp experience and so much more. Today, I'm speaking with 3 App Academy alumni who were recently part of the winning team of App Academy's hackathon. So let me introduce these App Academy grads. Ash Aranfar, who is now a software engineer and on that tech job hunt. Freddie Rendon, who is also a software engineer now at Opal Solutions, and Emily Morgan, who is a software engineer and currently on the tech job hunt as well. So Ash, Freddie, and Emily, thank you so much for speaking with me today. Before I have you share your screen so we can dive into what you actually built for the hackathon, I would really love to know a bit more about your backgrounds and why you ended up choosing App Academy. So Ash, after spending some years working in sales and bookkeeping, what inspired you to enroll in App Academy?
Great question. I mean, when I left my job in sales back in 2022, I had a lot of ideas of what direction I wanted to go. What really inspired me to join App Academy was I took a free CS course online, and about 4 weeks into an 11-week course, I knew this was the path that I wanted to go. So I chose App Academy for a few reasons. Their ratings were among the highest of all the boot camps that I researched, and I did have a couple of personal friends that had attended, and so it came highly recommended. After chatting with them, I knew it was the right choice for me.
Hmm. And Freddie, why did you want to make the career switch from electrical engineering into software engineering with App Academy?
Absolutely. My passion for coding was sparked in college when I first encountered C Sharp. I would say it was during the COVID-19 pandemic that really rekindled my interest in technology. After that, I decided to reconnect with my passion for coding and switching from electrical engineering to software development. I chose App Academy because of its reputation of offering a well-structured bootcamp environment. What really stood out for me was the rigorous interviews, which showcased their commitment of having a serious and focused learning environment for succeeding students.
So Emily, you have a background in mechanical engineering, and what made you want to do that pivot into software?
So while I was studying mechanical engineering in college, I really got to know general engineering because at Virginia Tech, where I was going to school, they make you study general engineering before you can choose a specific specialty. And so that is where I studied like coding and other like logic classes. But though ultimately I did decide to go into mechanical engineering because of my background in robotics and things like that. But as I was studying mechanical engineering, I realized more and more like the day-to-day of a mechanical engineering just didn't really suit what I saw for myself. And so I decided to make the switch back to software engineering instead. So yeah, a lot of engineering
Yeah.
basically, and trying to find the specific right fit for me. And I chose App Academy because, well, like Freddie said, it's a reputable boot camp. I have a brother who works in software development and a couple brothers-in-law that are software engineers. It's a lot. And they helped me go over the actual curriculum like point by point and saw what the tech stack was and that it was really up to par. So that really helped me make my decision.
That's cool. Ash, when you were applying for App Academy, like what did the application and interview process end up looking like? Like, did you need to know how to code in order to get into App Academy?
The application process, the interview was pretty rigorous. After the application itself, there was a non-technical assessment, a non-technical interview via Zoom, as well as a technical assessment. I personally had almost no coding experience when was applying myself. So yeah, I wouldn't say you would need to know how to code to get in. Like I said, I have no coding experience back then, just a couple of weeks of a, free CS course. But it shows that they actually just care. It's important for them who they let into their boot camps.
Hmm. And Freddie, what did App Academy's curriculum cover? Like, what were some of the main skills and programming languages that you ended up learning?
So I attended App Academy in person. I can't speak for the online curriculum specifically. I could only speak for the in-person curriculum.
Mhm.
So I would like to just break it down. It consists of two parts. Essentially, the first segment, we immerse ourselves into learning Ruby and algorithms, laying a strong foundation. And then we quickly evolved into like the Rails framework, where we immerse ourselves with backend development, including a SQL database. And the second part of the bootcamp, our focus shift to JavaScript, where we immerse ourselves into front-end development, learning React.
Wow. So it sounds pretty comprehensive. You go through a lot in just that short amount of time.
Absolutely. It's a super comprehensive approach. It gave us a range of back-end development as well as front-end development skills.
Mm.
Mhm.
And Emily, were there lots of projects that you were assigned during the boot camp? Like what kinds of things did you end up building?
Yeah, there were definitely lots of projects day to day. Aside from like we would pair board with our cohort mates every day and work in teams like that. We also had 3 full stack projects throughout the course. So the online full-time course is 6 months long, so you have a lot of time to really delve into those projects. So like our first project was using JavaScript and React, and then also like JavaScript in the back end with like Express. We built those over the course separately, the front end and the back end over the course of 2 weeks for the first project. And since it was a first project, I know everybody's is a little, wow, we've come so far since then. And then our second project was a group project. So you work with 3 to 4 people and really get to delve in deeper since you have more time and more help and work on that coding team where you have daily stand-ups and you really work on that coding as a group. And then our last project is our capstone. So that's everybody's individual showcase, basically at the end of the boot camp of everything that you've learned. So it's you have 3 weeks to complete this project. You have a TA acting as your project manager. You report to them. You get your plans approved throughout before you can implement them. And those are using any tech stack you want because it is a showcase of everything you've learned. So definitely a lot of very in-depth projects that we were able to put on our portfolios after the fact.
Yeah, that sounds super impressive. So your team's project was chosen as the winner of App Academy's hackathon. Congrats on that. Let's have one of you share your screen so we can walk through the project. So this hackathon was unique because the App Academy teams participating were working on real world projects, which is just super cool. So Emily, tell us about the client your team was paired with.
Yeah, so our client was Christina Leclerc. She's currently working on developing a mental health and wellness AI application. And so she came to us to help build a website to help promote her upcoming application. So she wanted a custom content management system so that allowed her to write blogs that were very organized by topic. So allowing the users to find a specific blog based on what mental health area or emotional health, wellness, all of that area that they wanted to find. And then it also connected with mail subscription. So she had us connect it with her MailChimp account to allow users to subscribe for future updates about her upcoming project. Because she is a UI UX designer, she had a very highly developed, high fidelity wireframe that she wanted us to follow. And so it was really important to her that we delivered on the aesthetics and the look of the website as well as the functionality.
Wow, very cool. So Freddie, how much time were teams given to build their projects and like how many hours a day did you end up committing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would like to say that the hackathon consists of 15 teams. The norm for the team was about 5 engineers per team. We was granted a total of 3 weeks. It was 1 week initially to essentially find a client, source a client, and then 2 weeks building the application. I personally devoted around 60 hours per week just because I felt like I was so behind because half of the team knew the framework, due to their curriculum, and the in-person team did not. So I personally devoted around 60 hours per week learning the Flash and Python framework and other technologies to make our applications stand out.
So Ash, I'd love if you could walk us through this Aurora app and the main features and how a user would interact with it.
We have the homepage here, the page that you would go to initially. It's kind of a more of an informational page on the front end, on the homepage. You know, it gives you some information about what Aurora is. You have an email subscription here in the middle, and the more you scroll down, you learn some of the benefits of it, some user testimonials as we keep going down. And some more information about what Aurora is, what it's used for. You know, we kind of wanted the whole site to be dynamic in order for her to be able to upgrade and update as she grows. So a lot of this, most of the stuff on the homepage is editable for her. And then you keep going down, you have a little bio about the founder, that's Christina, our client, and another sign up here at the bottom. So this is just kind of the informational page. The meat of the page itself is the blogs. So if you go over the article topics, you get all of the topics that she has blogs already about. So if you click one, let's say we click mental self-care, it gives you a list of all of the blogs that are available in that topic. So if you click a blog that, you know, you think it might pertain to you, it's all here. You read through, you get some great information. And the topics as well, they're all on their own page. So all of the blogs that are pertaining to each topic are all associated or all come on the same page. And yeah, that's pretty much. And you can also contact her directly if you have any questions, concerns, anything at all. That's the client side, basically the user side of the application. We did build an entire administration side, like an admin side, where she can make changes, add and remove blogs, things like that. I'll show you that side as well. So these are all of the blogs. This is her admin dashboard. These are all of the blogs that she's already written. You can search the blogs by any keywords like mental or self-care or whatever it is that she knows specifically she's looking for. Her little nav bar here has a lot of functionality. Let's say she wants to add a new topic. She can create a topic here directly. You can call it whatever you like. We can call it App Academy, or let's call it Hackathon. Now the topic is there, she can start posting blogs directly into that topic. She can also create a blog. You know, this is a full rich text editor where she can format it. She can add thumbnail. Every blog has a little thumbnail for a background. She can edit blogs here as well. If you hit the little edit button, all of the blogs are here that she can edit however she likes. And also she can delete blogs. And so the blogs are like the main part of the site itself. So blogs, and then each blog has a topic. Also, as testimonials come in, she can choose which ones she wants to display in the carousel on the homepage as well. The more the testimonials come in, I'm sure there'll be more 5 stars. She can pick and choose which ones that she wants to come and go. The last thing, like I mentioned before, I'm sorry, the second last thing, we wanted to make the site as dynamic as possible. Basically, since we weren't going to be maintaining it for her, she wasn't going to have a dev on hand 24/7 to help. We wanted to make it as editable as possible without having to call a developer. So all of the splash page, the content on it is all editable, and you know, you can edit it as you go. And you know, she wants to change some of the content that's on here. She doesn't have to call a dev to come into her code base and make changes. She could just do it herself on the fly, which is a nice touch because it kind of makes the website dynamic, and she doesn't have to do anything she can change everything herself. And like Emily mentioned, we did link her MailChimp account as well to the site. So she gets a list of subscribers here that have subscribed. So when she does finally launch her application, she'll have a list of people that are interested, that she can send out, updates, stuff like that too.
Yeah, it's so beautifully organized. I love it. And Emily, what programming languages or tools did your team end up using to make this app? Like, did you use everything that you learned at App Academy to make this, or did you have to learn all new things?
So it's a little bit of both. We used Flask and Python and SQL Alchemy for our back end, and then JavaScript and React for our front end, which are things the App Academy taught us. But we also really added on to that by using new frameworks. Like we used the Fuse library for our search algorithm. We used TipTap for a rich text editor. Just a bunch of React libraries, but we also implemented unit testing for the backend, which is not something the App Academy taught us, basically to protect and maintain the backend API. And then we also built a CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions with Docker to streamline the uploading and process of making new changes to the website. So kind of a little bit of both. It was definitely crunch time, especially like Freddie said, the in-person people on our team learned a different tech stack than me and Ash did. So they had a little extra work learning Flask and Python. They knew JavaScript and React, but so it was definitely a combination of those things.
Yeah. Ash, what was it like to create this app with 4 other team members? Like, how did you end up delegating responsibilities and collaborating?
Great question. Working with 4 other engineers, it was great. It gave us some really good real world experience of what it'll be like working on projects on our future jobs. Our entire team worked really closely together to delegate responsibilities and collaborate whenever we needed. It was a pleasure working with a team of talented engineers. Our client made the process very straightforward for us. She had a vision, like Emily mentioned, she's a designer, so she had a vision that we could stick to, and she had the creative side handled for us. It allowed us to focus on, functionality and performance of the project.
Yeah, because I was also wondering what it was like to work with the client. Did you have to check in with her like every day or every week, like give her status updates?
Yeah, I mean, we did have periodic meetings with her each week, to kind of give her updates, show her how far we gotten. We would have a sit down with her and pretty much give her the rundown of where we were at.
Mm. And I also want to point out too, this is such a unique hackathon because you all graduated at different times from App Academy. So it's not like you were just leaning on each other, just coming out of the same bootcamp cohort. So that's really cool as well. So Freddie, what was your team's overall biggest challenge while building this project?
I believe the biggest challenge was essentially half of the team knew the framework and the other half did not. So we had to play catch up a lot. So I believe that was the biggest hurdle.
And Emily and Freddie, you can also jump in on this too. Like, you know, with those kinds of hurdles, like what types of resources were you offered through App Academy? Like, were there instructors or TAs there to help you, or did you just have this project deadline and you just had to show up with something?
So we were definitely an independent team since this is a postgraduate project. We had learned everything that we needed. So we didn't have the instructional help from the instructors, but we did have all of the documentation and any independent research that we could, as well as bouncing ideas off of software engineers that we had worked with in the past.
Cool. And Freddie, for your team on the side that needed to kind of catch up on some of the framework, what were you doing to kind of adjust to that? Were you just like deep diving, Googling everywhere, or were you leaning on other types of resources?
Yeah, so I leaned heavily on the App Academy resource. So I was able to get access to the online curriculum. That's where over the weekend I ended up learning Flash and Python in about 3 days.
Wow, that's so amazing. So Ash, how did this hackathon experience improve your own career development as a new software engineer?
So yeah, I think the hackathon definitely helped my development as a new engineer. Gave us a lot of invaluable experience working on a team, working with a real world client, understanding their needs for this project, meeting deadlines. Also, it gave us more ways that we can showcase our skills as an engineer. Gave us another project to add to the resume and showcase our work on our portfolio. I think it was a great experience. I would most likely do it again.
And Freddie, were you able to add this to your resume, this hackathon project, and then talk about it in job interviews?
Yeah, it's a great talking point on my resume. There's a lot of technologies that we incorporated. We incorporated CI/CD pipeline. We incorporated Docker. We incorporated AWS. The application is hosted on AWS. So there's a lot of talking points in this project that I definitely do use on job interviews.
And Emily, has this hackathon experience helped you in your own tech job search?
Yeah, I mean, like they said, we're saying we learned so much on this project that like I have so much more knowledge and experience to pull from when I'm talking about myself. But I really think the main benefit was having the real world professional experience with a client and being able to have that rapport with her and sort of adjusting our projects to meet her expectations and really working with that was very interesting and very different from an academic project. So yeah, that experience is just key.
My last question, I just want to pitch this to all of you, is at this point in your tech career, was App Academy worth it for you?
I can jump in first. As someone who had basically zero coding experience pre-App Academy, I do think it was worth it. The amount of knowledge that I gained in 24 weeks was a lot of times overwhelming. But it's the curriculum really helps you learn and learn quickly. So I do think it was worth it.
Same, I could hop in and answer that. It was 100% worth it. I do not regret the decision. In fact, if I could do it all over again, I would. I've gained so much knowledge. I've learned. So essentially, App Academy teaches you how to learn. So I've learned so much. I definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same here. I mean, I can't imagine where I would be right now if I hadn't had taken a boot camp. It just has completely changed my life and the whole trajectory of where I see myself in 10 years. So I mean, yeah, absolutely worth it.
And that's an excellent place to wrap up this hackathon project spotlight. Thank you so much for talking with us today, Ash, Emily, and Freddie. We're going to be posting a recording and a transcript of this video interview on the Course Report blog with contact information for App Academy, just in case you're interested in applying for any of their upcoming cohorts. And thanks so much to all of you for watching. Tweet at us, email us, and let us know which topic you'd like us to cover next on the Course Report blog. And in the meantime, follow Course Report on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you're a bootcamp alum, don't forget to post a review of your bootcamp experience on Course Report. Your review is a huge help to anyone who's thinking of getting into tech today.